What's up, you guys? My name is Aaron Oster. I am a #1 best-selling author on Amazon, and today I am going to teach you how to be
evil.
Yes, that laugh was very scary, wasn't it? I worked on it for about 3 hours. I'm not kidding. But yes, in today's video, we're going to be covering the topic of villains. How to write a scary bad guy for your books, fan fictions, and about your favorite princesses. I don't know why I keep bringing up princesses. I think I might have a problem. But that aside, I am going to teach you how to write an exciting villain, someone that you want to see succeed, even, or someone that you hate so much that you want to see them fail at all costs. A good villain is not easy to write because a lot of people get it wrong. So, grab your black cats and swivel chairs, destroy that like button, and don't forget to subscribe, or I will
Destroy the world.
Now, to start things off, let's take a good look at a few villains that we have seen in popular culture and talk about why they are so great. So, a big villain that you see that has really been inundated is the big bad guy of the Avengers movies, Thanos. Now, what makes Thanos such a compelling villain? What makes you root for him and hate him at the same time? You want to see him fail, but you can't help but understand him. He has a goal. He has reasons for the things that he does, and you can understand him on a twisted sort of level. Why does he want to wipe out half the universe? Not because
He's evil.
but because he thinks that he is doing what is right, and that is what makes a great villain. A great villain isn't someone who just wants to destroy the world for the sake of being all evil and stuff. A great villain is somebody that has a reason for the things that they want to do, someone that you can empathize with, someone that you can understand on a personal level, and someone whose goals and motivations actually make sense. All good stories have amazing protagonists who do really cool things, people you can root for and understand and want to see succeed. But every good story needs a villain. With a horrible villain, the entire story can just fall completely flat, meaning that if your villain is terrible, your protagonist's accomplishments will pale in comparison to what he or she could have accomplished had they faced a actual villain, someone who you can understand, someone whose goals make sense, someone who isn't, again, going to blow up the sun because he is evil, and that's what he wants to do. You know, the insane psychopath thing can be done. You know, the Joker from Batman is a good example of someone who's completely nuts and does things just because of his insanity, but very few villains can be pulled off in that way. So what you need to do is create a villain that people can understand, people can connect with, and I am going to tell you how to do that right here in this video. So, just like with all my other videos, I'm going to be leaving examples right up here. Yes, I finally figured out which side to point now that I have a camera. Nailed it. And we're going to be using an example of a villain. Yes, we're going to be using the name Bob again. I really like Bob. I don't know why. I think Bob is an excellent name for a villain. So, the first thing you're going to do is pick your villain's look. Villains have to look unique. They don't specifically have to look cool. Just interesting enough to grab someone's attention and leave a lasting impression. So Bob is actually going to be short. You know, in comparison, a lot of other villains are these tall, hulking figures. No, Bob is going to be very short. He's going to be 4 feet tall. And not only will he be 4 feet tall, he's going to have short brown hair, very pale skin, and he is also going to be blind. Now, before you can decide on your villain's motivations, you need a story. A backstory. Just like your hero, your protagonist needs a backstory for everyone to understand where they're coming from and how they're going to act, your villain needs a backstory too, because just doing things for the sake of evil is pretty boring. So, we are going to give our villain Bob a backstory. He is blind, and being blind his entire life has given him some perspective, something that people who can see can't really understand. He grew up in a unique situation, something that not everyone gets to experience, and because of that, he has truly been able to see the faults in humanity and how he can correct them. So now that we have Bob's backstory, we need to pick a goal. Something that he is going to do because of who he is, and something that the protagonist, your good guy, will have to stop. I am going to give you a good example of something that you can do, and a bad example of something that you can do. And obviously, because I am such a positive guy,
we're going to start out with the negative.
With the horrible example of something you don't want to do for your villains.
Bob is a very evil man. He does things evilly because that's what evil people do. He enjoys going on long rants and cackling, evilly, of course, because he is so very evil. And his goal is to destroy the sun. And do you know why? Because he is evil!
Now, aside from all the reasons that is just a horrible way to write a character, there's a very specific reason why that villain comes off as more of a clown than anything else. When you see a villain who is evil, and he is evil just for the sake of being evil, that isn't really much of a personality. You can't really connect with that, because all you see is this big, clownish, evil character who really isn't all that evil. Now, to give you a better example of something that you want to do, we're going to talk about Bob again, but we're going to paint him in a very different light. Being born blind, Bob can see the world differently than others. He has perspective, as he has lived in the darkness his entire life. Bob has noticed the faults in mankind and therefore wants to destroy the sun. This way, everyone can join him in darkness and finally understand and think the way he does. Now, yes, not the most compelling villain you can possibly imagine, but when you compare him to the clown from earlier, who is doing things evilly for the sake of being evil, you get two very different people. Yes, it took me about 2 minutes to think this guy up, so don't really go picking this guy, Bob, as your main villain. Put some thought into your own guys, and have a little originality. But the biggest difference between the two Bobs you've seen, while they are technically still the same person, is that one Bob can be understood, while the other Bob is just a psycho. And if you add a few scenes in, for example, just following your villain around, explaining his backstory, following his mission, so to speak, then your audience can really connect with them on a personal level. And this advice isn't just for people who want to write books. If you're planning on making a movie, or literally any form of storytelling that you want to tell, you want to write a play, you want to do a LARPing thing, I mean really, literally anything that you can think of that involves storytelling, this is something that can help you. So again, to summarize, you need an origin story for your villain. You need a goal that's believable. You need a personality that makes sense. And you need goals that are both achievable and understandable. If you follow all of those steps, you will create an amazing villain. Someone that everyone will love to hate or hate to love. I think they're the exact same thing, but don't take my word on it. I'm just a dude recording stuff on YouTube from my cave, which I still have not left.
I could really use that help.
So with all of that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. Please comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, how you would go about creating your villain, and if you have already made your villain, what your villain is like, where they came from, or literally anything else you want to tell me. I would love new ideas on things to teach you guys, to talk about on my channel, things that I can do. Like, subscribe, of course, please tell people about it because I want to get to 100 subscribers. I have 54 already. I'm on top of the moon. And don't worry, I'm not going to let the fame go to my head.
Oh, and if you don't subscribe, I will blow up the world because I am evil.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.